why your ex fights the feelings they still have for you. It often doesn't make sense, and some of it is far different than you might expect, but I'm going to explain some of the reasons why an ex will fight their feelings that they still have for you, even if it seems like they don't have anything left for you. Number one is to not only protect their pride, but also the story. So basically, it's like this. Your ex knows how it looks to other people, to you, if they were to just break up with you and then come back, and maybe they've done it before. So now it's break up with you and come back and break up with you and come back. And they want to demonstrate that they can do this. They want to show you and prove to you that they can, but also to other people, because even if they are thinking, as I'll explain a little bit later, that you two might get back together, they want the story to be right. And it doesn't sound as romantic or cinematic or interesting if they come back quickly. Sometimes they want to be able to say, we were away for months. And don't worry, that doesn't mean that they can actually make it that long. But they know that that sounds a lot better than 2 weeks. Because people tend to think, well, did you really make up your mind, or was it just a knee-jerk reaction? Or could you just not stay away? Was the breakup a little bit difficult and you couldn't handle it even though it was necessary? All kinds of things like that. But they don't want to look bad. They want to show you, because they even think if they come back too quickly, you might not really change, or you might not take them seriously or really appreciate them. So sometimes they want to show you. And no contact can actually prevent them from being able to do that very long. And I'll get into more of the details on that a little bit later as well. Number two, another reason your ex might often fight their feelings is because they want to be right. And here's why. Because if that initial pain that they feel, which it does take a bit, they have to go through the relief stage. They have to go through the curiosity stage before they really get to the pain. But when they get to that, they want to see if the pain endures, if it's really going to be something that lasts. Because if it's not, then they went through all that for nothing. Because it's awkward to break up with someone. They didn't want to hurt you. They don't know what to say. Nobody wants to have that discussion. And they certainly don't want it to be for nothing. So they want to be right, and they are hoping that in time it will get easier. And I'm going to get into that in the next point as well. But no one likes to admit that they are wrong. That's a difficult conversation to have. I was wrong about the breakup. So they want to wait and see if they're actually right. And that's why patience is your superpower right now. Before I get to number three, I have a very quick commercial. I'd appreciate your support by listening. If you were going through a breakup, get my emergency breakup kit. It's a powerful guide to help you get your ex back, and it's based on my 20 plus years in the relationship recovery service. It's the emergency breakup kit. You can get it at myexbackcoach.com and just click on emergency breakup kit. That's myexbackcoach.com and just click on emergency breakup kit. For the men who make up about 55% of my audience, I have a course just for you called Masculine Destiny. It will help you have success with women like never before. I put my heart and soul into this. It's masculinedestiny.com to get the course. If you are at all confused by your interactions with women, by your failure in relationships with women, get Masculine Destiny. Don't waste any more time. End the excuses now and be successful with women like you never have. It's masculinedestiny.com. And you can book a coaching session with me or a great coach on my staff like Coach Rex at myexbackcoach.com and just click on coaching. That's myexbackcoach.com and just click on coaching, and you can book a private session with me or a coach on my staff. See, that wasn't so bad. I appreciate you listening to my commercial. Number three, defensive circular reasoning. This is a fascinating and frustrating human trait, but have you ever been in a position where winning became more important than actually what you were going to win? So I have been in debates, and I'm sure you have, where you actually start to realize you hadn't thought this through completely, or maybe you were wrong. And yet you keep arguing the point. You keep fighting because you want to win, because you just assume, well, this is my goal, so I need to keep fighting for it because this is what I want, even if it's not really what you want. And you have realized that now. That is a natural human trait that we will do this. It's a circular reasoning. and it brings psychological resistance. That's why I tell you so often, try not to become the opponent of your ex. If you're holding them back from the breakup, if you're preventing it from happening because you just keep contacting them and they feel like they can't get rid of you or that you won't leave them alone, then they become so focused on getting away from you that they can't see anything else. They can't see the points you're making. They won't understand them. They refuse to listen because they just want to get away from you. And that's why when you stop putting them in a position to be defensive and you just give them the breakup, and people often ask, what do I mean by giving them the breakup? It means you don't resist. You just give in. You might tell them as they're breaking up with you, I disagree with this. Please reconsider this. We can work this out. You should do that. They should know that you tried that. But once they refuse, that's when you have to back away, because in that moment, their attraction for you is too low for you to be effective. And all they will be trying to do is to defend their position. Human beings can get that way. They defend their position, whether it's right or wrong, just because that's the position that they have had. And they don't even think about whether or not they could change, or if the information's incorrect, or if it's just ridiculous to have that position in the first place. They will defend it, and they will defend it against you, which makes you their opponent, their adversary. And so if you don't fight them, they're not your enemy. They won't have to keep running further away from you. They won't get as far away from you as if you keep pushing and pressuring them. Take away the pressure, and they won't have that psychological resistance. It's going to minimize the time that they want to stay in the breakup, and it's going to help you get them back. Nothing is guaranteed, nothing is 100%, but certainly gives you better odds than if you pester them, because they will reach a point of exhaustion where you were just a nuisance, and they could go years before wanting to see you again because they just want to get away from you because you have acted obsessive. And it also comes across to them as you don't care what they want, you just want to get what you want, which is not a good trait in a partner. Number 4, your ex might have the perpetual right fallacy, which, though that title may sound like the point I just made before, it's not it at all. I'm saying they will feel like they have perpetual or eternal rights to you, and that because you wanted to be with them and because they were the one who broke up with you, which means they had the control, that they will also have the control to get you back whenever they want you. And there have been cases where people have even waited a year and thought that the breakup was 100% what they wanted. But because they had the perpetual right fallacy, they went to this person and it was almost like, hey, congratulations. I've decided that you may have me back. Such arrogance. But that's kind of how they worded it. I'm obviously exaggerating because that's fun. But they just assumed that because they were the person who broke up with the other and that you wanted them back, that the person in your shoes wanted them back at that moment, that you forever would. And that even if you were with somebody else, which that's not going to happen because you want them so badly, that they would still be able to get you back. That they would just finally give you what you wanted and say, okay, we can get back together. That is a fallacy because you will move on no matter how hurt you are now. If your ex doesn't come back, and I'm not saying they won't, I try to help you get your ex back. And I believe that if you do what I tell you to do, in many situations, you will have positive odds. And we can talk about that on a coaching session that you can book at myexbackcoach.com. That's myexbackcoach.com. Click on coaching. But even if the worst case scenario, they don't come back, you will be able to move on. You are designed psychologically and emotionally, mentally, to move on at some point, or else the human species would not survive because we would be perpetually just hooked on one person who we lost and we could never procreate with another person. So it is naturally put within you by the Creator to be able to move on from this person. Whether you want to or not, you will at some point. You will feel better. Either way, if you get them back or you don't. I'm trying to help you get them back, but obviously it's not going to work in every single situation, so I want you to know that. I may have saved the most important one for last, but number 5 is they want to test or prove the breakup. What I mean is that just because it hurts them, just because they miss you right then, they want to see if it lasts because they probably have been in a situation with you where they thought, I'll give it through the weekend, see if my feelings change before I break up with her, break up with him. Or maybe they have been in other relationships where the breakup was difficult at first, but then eventually they realized it was the right thing to do. That's why it's important that you don't act like a crazy person in this situation, that you do give them that space, that you don't sound like you're trying to bribe them, and that you don't play the game of, yeah, we can just be friends and be in each other's lives, because it just doesn't work out, because it's not real, it's fake. They know you want the relationship with them, and so it makes you look weak just hanging around hoping for crumbs from their table or hoping you get a second chance. It's not attractive. And It will make you say things that seem cheesy because they know that what you're really wanting to say is, do you love me again? Will you get back together with me? And instead you're saying, yeah, I thought that movie was really good. Things like that. So they will stick with the breakup for a bit to see if it gets better. They will test it. The good news is that if they do that for a while, it can really cause them to panic because they realize there is a window of time here and you will move on because they were attracted to you. They were attracted to you and they remember those days, the early days of the relationship when you were just irresistible, and they will realize you will be that way to other people as well. And that can cause a panic. It can cause preoccupation, even obsession. And that's when you get the stories of people like you who think nothing is happening because you're not hearing from them. And then all of a sudden they come to you and they are panicked and desperate for you to take them back, for you to accept them into the relationship again. So I suggest you watch this video again because I do make some good points that are helpful for you to think about when you wonder what's going on with your ex. Remember to get my emergency breakup kit at myexbackcoach.com and you'll see emergency breakup kit. Interestingly enough, just click on that and you can buy the kit. It will help you get your ex back. Guys, remember masculine destiny. No more excuses. Be successful, wildly successful with women. That's masculinedestiny.com. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching. Other coaches, you now have a video title you can copy, so you better get to work.